We know that Gervonta is going to fight Jake Paul in November, and then we'll see what happens.
Eddie Hearn has just dropped the shocking news that a fight between Gervonta Davis and Jake Paul is scheduled for November. Meanwhile, fans are also eager to see a rematch involving Lamont Roach. Eddie Hearn said he is not sure if Tank Davis will fight Roach again, but the deal for Davis's fight with Jake Paul in November is confirmed.
Jake Paul, isn't he? So he's got. I don't know whether he'll fight. What's the rematch?
Lamont Roach.
I don't know if he'll still fight Lamont Roach. I know he's fighting Jake Paul in November, and then maybe Shakur after that.
At the same time, Jake Paul has hinted that the fight will take place after Tank's rematch with Lamont Roach. He noted that it has already been talked about a lot, and the negotiations have been ongoing, but now the fight is finally scheduled.
How real or what was to it with you and Tank actually being a thing? Was that something that was talked about?
Yeah, no, it was highly talked about and in negotiations and almost ready to make happen, but he has to do his rematch with Lamont and get that W, and then we'll be able to run it back. But me and Gervonta were scheduled to fight for sure.
Amid this, Jake Paul has also responded to fighting Tank Davis, saying he is eagerly waiting to show his best against him. Addressing concerns raised by a tweet from Tank Davis, Jake Paul said he is ready for it any time.
Gervonta Davis just posted that he would beat the brakes off of you if you guys fight.
I mean, I'll be down. Let's run it. Like, I'll be super down.
Gervonta needs Jake Paul. Let's be clear, right?
Is there a height limit in boxing?
After Tank's fight with Roach, Jake Paul went on to troll Tank Davis. In a clip, he is seen punching a banner of Tank Davis and bursting balloons with a caption saying Tank was lucky not to have faced him in the ring yet. In response, Gervonta Tank Davis also mocked Jake Paul by impersonating his punching style. He took a serious jab at him, calling his punches goofy and saying they look weak and lack energy as he demonstrated in his impression. Furthermore, Gervonta expressed a strong dislike for Jake Paul. In his view, the way Paul calls out fighters and tries to present himself as a legitimate boxer is ridiculous. Davis referred to him as a clown who is only in it for the hype and lacks substance when it comes time to step into the ring.
How Jake Paul was coming in up.
Why is that?
Because of how he was making it look like he'll call out somebody else that's like, but now that I see that I feel as though he's still a clown because that's his personality. He's still a clown.
That's how he gets paid. Yeah, you're not wrong about that.
But far as him like content, like in the gym, I feel like I'm starting to respect it because he's not doing it like for the hype. He was really like trying to be a boxer.
Reacting to the news, Mike Tyson shared his thoughts, admitting that Gervonta Davis is currently the greatest fighter. He called Davis a real dog who has proven himself to be a prime boxer. Additionally, Tyson noted that Gervonta Davis has a tough upcoming fight ahead.
I think Gervonta Davis is probably the greatest fighter around now, but he's got a tough fight coming up. You know, he's the top dog, there's no doubt about it. He showed that. But Barrios, he's a pretty good fighter. Last time I saw him fight, he was pretty durable.
Meanwhile, Gervonta Davis has started to acknowledge that Jake Paul is a tough opponent. He based his statement on observing how Jake continues to put in work at the gym. In this way, Davis believes Paul stands a real chance in the ring and could potentially showcase some power.
I mean, if they pick his fight right, I think that he's decent.
Yeah,
like he's good. I mean, he's not good, but he's going that way. If he's continuing to do like stay in the gym,
yeah,
like you say, like you get up in the morning, like he's a boxer, you know what I mean? He's in the gym. So
reacting to the news, Showbiz the Adult shared his opinion. He pointed out that Jake Paul, who is looking to fight after his rematch with Lamont, is adding to the excitement. Showbiz mentioned that Lamont had already tarnished Davis's legacy, and now with Jake Paul, things are shaping up to be nothing short of fun, with a genuine hype buildup.
And Lamont Roach spoiled the plans by fighting Gervonta to a draw, and I think it wasn't just the draw, it was how the fight kind of went, and they have to have that rematch. And Jake Paul is saying that he would revisit that after the rematch.
Adding more, Showbiz pointed out that he doesn't really care about people's perceptions of Jake Paul. However, what stands out to him is how Gervonta Davis, who is much smaller than a heavyweight, is now taking on this challenge. In his view, Jake Paul is a heavyweight, and it's exciting to see how Tank will handle this matchup.
I don't care what anyone says. How the hell is Gervonta too small to take on a op at 140, but can fight a heavyweight? I don't care what anyone says. Bro, listen, dog, I don't know. Don't say, hey, Jake Paul's a YouTuber or, man, forget all that, all right? He is still a heavyweight. He just had his last fight at heavyweight, and no drug testing. I'm going to go here. Because it looks like they may eventually fight.
Furthermore, Showbiz the Adult noted that the fight will be co-promoted by MPV and PBC, and it might even be aired on Netflix. He predicted that the fight wouldn't go 12 rounds. While he acknowledged that Jake Paul's fight with Mike Tyson could change public perception of him, Showbiz also recognized Gervonta Davis as the real underdog, capable of presenting a serious challenge for Jake Paul.
I don't think it'll be a 12-round fight. I don't think they'll schedule it for 12 rounds. And honestly, I know Gervonta is a top dog when it comes to, like, you know, boxing, like Canelo is one, and then Gervonta. I'm not sure if he'll be the A side against Jake Paul. Brother, listen, if Mike Tyson wasn't the A side, I'm not sure if he'll be the A side against Jake Paul. And I know Gervonta will want that Netflix bag. So it'll be MVP, probably co-promotion with PBC. It may just be on Netflix.
Meanwhile, Jake Paul has also been critical of Tank Davis's behavior, reminding him that throughout his career, Davis has mostly fought opponents who were there to lose. However, Paul emphasized that this time, facing him will be a different story. He pointed out that he's ready to step aside as soon as possible and is confident he will win.
Gervonta Davis, who's like this real pro boxer.
What? I'm gonna break your jaw, I promise you. Don't even bring your mother or your daughter. Don't bring them.
He was fighting trash cans.
Yeah.
Guys who were just put in there to lose. That's not what I'm doing.
Would you take that fight right away if Gervonta Davis like called you out? Like if he said, I want Jake Paul right now, would you take that?
Yeah, 100%.
And do you think you would win that fight with the time that... Really?
Yeah, for sure.
Surprisingly, Tyson Fury has also shared his thoughts, questioning how the general perception of Tank Davis being the better fighter is justified. He compared the situation by highlighting Jake Paul's recent fight with Mike Tyson, which he viewed as a fantastic event.
Fantastic event. Anyone who don't think it's a fantastic event is jealous. Who's better, at Tank Davis or Jake Paul? So, immediately, yeah, the normal layman would say, oh, Tank Davis is better. But better at what? Is he better at selling tickets? Is he better at selling stadiums out? Is he better at creating controversy? Is he better at getting followed on Instagram? Is he better at putting more eyeballs on the boxing? Is he better than him at that? The answer would be no. But is he better at him in a fight? It has to be really, you have to break it down. You know what I mean?
Echoing similar sentiments, Leonard Ellerby acknowledged Jake Paul's efforts in the boxing world, recognizing his commitment to hard training and surrounding himself with the right people. While he expressed admiration for Paul, Ellerby also noted that Tank Davis is a legitimate threat, something he believes Jake Paul is fully aware of.
Is that what you mean? No, I'm not here to criticize Jake. I got nothing but respect for what he's been doing. He's been getting to that bag consistently. And you got to admire that he got it just only started boxing a couple years ago. He's committed to the training aspect and wanting to get better. He's surrounded himself with some very good people. And one in particular that's my guy, Taylor Young Love, my guy. You know, so I'm happy for all the success that they've had. You know, Jay is got a tremendous opportunity to take care of his family, and that's, to me, that's really what it's all about. It's kind of hard to, after only 4 years of boxing, to compete with people at the highest level. You know, Tank Davis is Tank Davis, and Jake Paul knows that.
Further explaining his stance, Leonard emphasized that it's important not to solely focus on Tank Davis's resume. He went on to praise Jake Paul for putting in real effort to become a world champion. Alerby highlighted that Paul's training has been intense, and he's fully prepared to seize this opportunity and make the most of it, something that Alerby greatly admires.
Whatever him and his team wants to do is levels to this thing, and if he has ambitions to be world champion, so be it. You know, I applaud people who he's actually putting in the work, working really hard. So I applaud those kind of things. But we know that, you know, the whole Tank Davis thing.
On the other hand, Showbiz the Adult took a lighter, funnier approach to the fight, jokingly referring to Gervonta Davis as Tank Paul. Laughing at the entire situation, he acknowledged that Tank is the better fighter, but pointed out that the heavyweight Jake Paul might be able to absorb all those punches, just like Lamont Roach did. He also raised the question, what if Jake Paul lands the same powerful combinations as his brother, who delivered a brutal performance against Mayweather?
Gervonta is a Tank Paul. No, Gervonta is a far better fighter than Jake Paul. I'm just saying, a heavyweight Jake Paul would probably absorb all that shit that Lamont Roach was absorbing. You know, he may not be able to lay a finger on Tank, but he may be able to throw a 19-punch combination like Logan did.
Former welterweight champion Sean Porter praised Gervonta Tank Davis, calling him the best fighter. Porter highlighted Davis's exceptional speed, counterpunching ability, and precision, noting that he is a sharpshooter who is very fast and who is a very good counterpuncher who can throw the right punch at the right time.
And the thing that I really appreciate about Tank is he's a dog. That kind of what he just said, you can put them earmuffs up and go at it. He kind of will assess you as well, and whatever he needs to do, he'll do it, you know, so.
Right. Besides this, Showbiz went on to suggest that Tank Davis is simply too small to face a heavyweight like Jake Paul. Looking back at Davis's past fights, he drew comparisons between the weight divisions Tank has fought in, noting that Davis was smaller even in those matchups. He also warned people not to underestimate Jake Paul, reminding them that he is a professional fighter.
All right. I'm just saying, no, seriously. If Tank is too small for 140 and arguably too small for 135, how the hell is he not too small for a heavyweight? Jake Paul. And don't get it mixed up. Jake Paul is a pro fighter at this point.
On the other hand, Gervonta Davis took a humorous approach when recognizing Jake Paul as a true fighter. While laughing at the question, he asserted that fighting for a genuine reason means a lot to him. He also pointed out that some people get into boxing for entertainment, but if Jake Paul truly has the potential, he would certainly acknowledge him as a real fighter.
What you think of former athletes and celebrities like Jake Paul taking up boxing? You think that grows the sport?
If he's doing it for the right reason, actually want to do it because of just like actually want to box, it's cool. But if he's doing it for like the wrong reason, just to get the hype and stuff like that, I feel as though it's trash. Sometimes people get bored at what they want, what they doing, and they want to try other stuff. Got to be mentally tough to be able to box. So that's why I don't take that away from some fighters or some people that want to jump into the sport. So just show how tough you are. That's how it should be.
For sure. That's all I got. Thank you, bro.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you.
At the same time, Jake Paul has shown sheer determination to win and knock Gervonta Davis out in the ring. He pointed out that people are already upset with his performances, particularly against Mike Tyson, and when it's his time to face Tank, he will leave no room for mercy, vowing to punish him even harder.
I think people would be upset, but like I feel like they're already upset with me. So, you know, like I already knocked out Tyron Woodley. I already talked to a lot of the guys there. So it's definitely a love-hate relationship. But I know I'm gonna win. So it's just, I'm not gonna be like a head and like be jumping up on the ropes and after I win. Like it's not like that for me. This is not what that fight's about. This fight is about respect for the first time, and you know, hopefully when I knock him out, I help him get off the canvas.
And that wraps up today's discussion on the highly anticipated showdown between Jake Paul and Gervonta Tank Davis. The stakes are high, the tension is rising, and both fighters are bringing their best to the table. Whether you're Team Jake or Team Tank, one thing's for sure, this is a fight that will keep us all on the edge of our seats. What do you think? Who's gonna come out on top? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any updates on this epic battle. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.